Okay, Virgo, this is going to be your April reading, although I kind of think whenever you find this, it'll be good. I'm intending for this to be a really small collective. When you're reading for a collective, and I'll explain because I've just been doing that with the other ones. Back in the day, there used to be something called a party line, and there would be like a block of people, and usually like a family, 1, 2, 3, 4 houses on the block, and they all share the same phone line. So if you picked up the phone and you heard your grandma talking down the block, you had to wait to make your phone call, and you could listen in to the phone, to the whoever's on the phone. People can listen in. So the reason I'm explaining this is because Spirit wants me to, but a collective read is like sending out that current, like catching that current, and then the people who are meant to pick up and resonate with it, they do. And those that don't sort of listen along, and certain things mean something to them and certain things don't. But that's how like a collective read goes. What I'm doing with the next bunch is like I'm intending for it to be a lot smaller so that it doesn't feel as diluted to me, which is kind of selfish. But and also I think that it's less people will resonate, but those that do will get a better read out of it. So that's what we're doing. So if this resonates, that's good. I'm looking to connect with a small group for these readings, these next couple of readings. So let's see, Virgo, what do we have going on for you this month? Ooh. I usually pull theme cards, and yet I am shuffling the deck, so I think that there's something to be said for that. What's going on for Virgo? That's like so many, but all right. I usually don't mind taking the huge bunches, but I've got a small space to work with. All right, Virgo, challenge. Oh man, okay. I can't even say the word. There's a word I'm looking for. Differentiate. Yeah, I'll differentiate as I explain, but it's looking like not the best month you've ever had at all. You know, Virgo had a tough read last month too, so let's just feel into this whole thing. Again, a very small group of you are going to resonate, and others aren't going to so much. For many of you, there's like been a really big disappointment, massive disappointment, and related to like a new chapter and doing something with somebody else, working together. And it, you know, there was a sense in which this was a solid offer, and it just, as soon as you realize that it's not a solid offer, it has, you know, this is when you're like, you have to face the process of completely letting go the dreams and like the energy that went into this new chapter, and also to the extent that this is working with people, doing things with either other people or doing things alone. There is a disappointment, and we'll see where this takes us, because that's for somebody, and whoever that is for, you shouldn't be like worried about something you don't know. For whoever that is for, you probably already know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's probably not for you. But that was just something that came through for somebody, and so I'm gonna pull some cards on like advice from Spirit, because I think this is like someone's personal reading. That's like first thing that did. So for someone who like just had this moment of like, holy crap, how did that just happen? Let's just talk about this for a second. Whoever resonates with a huge disappointment and things just not like the idea and the dream were one thing, but doing it is another, and the person that you're trying to collaborate with, not so great, or work with or partner with, not so great. It's not a solid offer, and you're realizing that, and it's super disappointing, and you're just having to put like, close the door on that new chapter because it didn't really materialize in quite that way. So that's somebody very specific, and we're just going to spend a second, get some advice for them from Spirit, whoever is resonating for this. Oh, so sweet. Okay. So for that individual, Spirit says there's going to be a period of healing for sure. And April, there's going to be the need for that, because you're going to want to let go of whatever is attached to this disappointment, whether it's a person who betrayed you or didn't show up in the way that they said that they were going to, or even like for some of you, like you having this idea or this idealized sense of what this was going to be and how this was going to work out. That was like not being honest with yourself. So for some of you, there's that sort of like shock of like, oh man, you know, I was seeing this in like the dreamboat land, and like then I'm here and it's not so dreamy. It's pretty disappointing. And then there are others of you that were someone like really they represented like they were going to bring something solid for a very long time. Actually, whoever this is a long time. Spirit's like, don't worry though. So the advice for this individual is don't worry. You've got something passionate and beautiful coming in that is what you were dreaming that this other thing was going to be. This other thing isn't panning out, but the dream eventually will. Not necessarily with that individual or that group of people. It just, Spirit's like, don't worry. It's going to be all right. There's going to be the right avenue and the right fit. And this is going to, you're going to have to heal from this. So that's somebody, and now we're going to do everybody. The rest of you that are like here. Again, I knew that this was going to be resonating for a smaller group, and to the extent that that means patience for those that aren't the like ones that are getting that one particular bit. My hope is that something will resonate as clearly for you. So let's pull a theme card for the month of April for Virgo. What do we have, Spirit? Power of attraction. Is that it? I'm gonna get Spirit's like, what? No. It could be, but there's more. So Spirit is saying, so this is a message coming through for somebody. There's something here. Spirit says they fell in love with the wildness, and that there's been a lot of, how do I explain this? Just give me a second with this for somebody, specific message coming through. So, okay, so I'm seeing I guess it's high school, must be. I don't think college has lockers. So I'm seeing a hallway, high school, and I'm seeing a couple, and I'm seeing like the girls like wilding out and the guys laughing his ass off. And then I'm like, then it like, there's there's like, then I see them, they're older, much older, and the contortion, they're both sort of like contorting themselves to meet the other's expectation or try to adult. I'm hearing feminine, masculine. So Spirit is saying to somebody, whoever this is resonating for, they fell in love with the wild aspect, and to the extent that you've been stuffing that to fit the mold of the perfect partner, which you don't think includes the wild aspect, for someone, Spirit's like, that's the wild aspect that they fell in love with. So whoever that's for, that's you. All right, so let's keep going. Spirit says get another one for the rest of you. Ah, there it flipped. Okay. After the storm. All right. So let's take a look at these together. Oh, I love it. So Spirit said, okay, so this is such good news, you know, for Virgo, the theme of this month is, and this is after like wisdom, insight, you know, after something shakes you up a little bit. I am not seeing a tower when I touch them. I'm not feeling the tower energy. Let me feel this for a second. This is, Spirit says like the reckoning of awareness. After the reckoning of some kind of an insight or awareness, you're able to like move into being this having this magnetism and like stepping into this power of attraction and start attracting things like with a lot of ease. I'm seeing a storm drain like cleared. And so yeah, after the storm, like once that storm drain is cleared, seeing just like someone grab like leaves, pull it out, there's a flow, there's an easy flow towards you of the things that you're attracting in. So this is April, you know, there's something that sort of like makes a little bit of a mess, but then when you clean it up, this is the stream. Let me just listen for a second. Yeah, like Spirit showing me like the tree gets shaken out with the storm, and then the dead branches that are no longer serving fall, and then this is the month where like you clean that out, and there's clarity. Spirit saying clarity, and then your natural like magnetism and like bringing in and attracting the stuff that you've been trying to manifest, that becomes a much clearer shot and like flows well. So that's the theme for April, or whenever you're finding this and it's resonating. Virgo is going to be, after a little bit of a natural kind of shakeup, anything that's like clogged is out of the way, so that your manifestations can come in strong. And Spirit says they do. Spirit says they do come in strong. So it's not like one day after you do this work, maybe. It'll Spirit's saying kind of like a rapid shift. And so let's take a look and see what. See what's going on over here. I was just trying to check with Spirit about something. Yeah. Okay. So let's take a look at like what blessing or what is like arising in the month of April, what's coming, or the month ahead, or ahead. Again, this is a smaller collective that I'm like intending to connect with. Ooh, interesting. This is a smaller collective than I'm intending to so not a, man, you know, it's really funny, like sometimes when I'm channeling, my mouth just doesn't even want to work. And whenever that happens, that usually means that, I can't even articulate, like, let's let Spirit do what Spirit's doing. So there's some confusion for sure. And there's a hard time, there's a hard time speaking out for yourself at a certain point. Or you've had in history, historically you've had a hard time speaking up for yourself. And that there's a sense in which after that like storm of like really letting it rip, loosening everything out, finding your own power, like the wisdom in your own authority, that's where the power of attraction really kicks in. So that's for somebody. So what is arising? What's the blessing? What's the blessing coming in? What's the blessing coming in? Okay, let's spend a little time with this. Shift my position, feel some cards. Bottom of the deck energy. It's defensive sort of a, like I heard I am not gonna get burned again. What else is there? This is really interesting energy. Let me just feel it for a second. Spirit's like, don't hold on too tight when you're not in control. Like when you hit a patch of out of control, Spirit's like, don't hold on too tight. I'm seeing I hope this isn't a specific message for somebody, but I'm seeing a car spin. I'm seeing like a patch of ice, or like a slip, like where the car sort of like spins, and like Spirit is like, if you turn into the ice, if you actually like move with the weight of the velocity, like if you don't try to thwart it, if you press on that brake, or you try to sort of get control of the vehicle, I hope this isn't specific for somebody. If you try to get control of the vehicle, and this is scary for me to put this out here. This is a metaphor. And here's the other thing. Collective reads, you want to always get confirmation. You know, either pull out your deck for confirmation, or if you don't have a deck, always ask. If something resonates really, really, really like intensely, you want to make sure that it's resonating and it's not wish fulfillment or fear. So yeah, so like the spin out like vision that's coming through, like basically what I'm getting from this is like, if you hit the brakes, it's gonna like make the car bounce, right? If you just let it spin, it'll right itself. And I don't think that this is for entertainment purposes only, right? So I don't think that that's like a specific. If it is, maybe that's really good advice. So that threw me off. Okay. But this energy right here is like a go with it. You know, the storm, the wind, you know, move with the wind like a kite. Don't try to move against it this month. Let that storm come in. So in terms of like a blessing coming your way, when you release a theory, it's just feeling like a theory. This might be a relationship theory, like one of these twin flame theories, or a theory about how you want to be in a relationship with people, theory about, let me touch it, hold on. Say for this. Spirit says it doesn't matter whether it's true or not. And once you realize that like the name of the game isn't figuring it out, once you like understand that figuring it out and trying to figure it out and trying to like have a hold on what's going on and making sure you understand, Spirit's like, as soon as you sort of decide like it doesn't matter. Whether you figure out that doesn't matter. Once you understand that this doesn't matter, and for some of you this is a relationship, and for others of you this is like a life path. And so stressing about like whether or not this is the right fit in terms of a person forever, whether or not this is the right fit in terms of like how you want related to your purpose. Spirit's like, when I keep hearing like somebody's like repeating over and over again, like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. No guarantees. I'm hearing no guarantees. So the knowledge that there are no guarantees, and this isn't, I mean, this is just what's coming through. This is what I'm feeling. Let me just keep feeling it because there's something so interesting here. Okay, well, it's not gonna come clear. Give up the fight. Oh, okay, here, all right. So milestones, it feels like abandoning the need for milestones. So I'm seeing like, you have to get married at this age, you have to have a baby by this age, you have to have your thing by that age, and you gotta get this the other age. Spirit's like, yeah, once you get rid of the milestone thing, you understand like how many options there are, and like the world sort of opens up. It's daunting. There's a sense in which this was comforting, you know, even though it was thwarting you. And I'm hearing the dizziness of freedom. The dizziness of freedom. So, you know, all these options are a little dizzying because, you know, this is a once you get rid of the milestone goal sheet, it's like, how do I make a goal? Like once I'm not like operating off the milestones, like how am I going to make a goal? That's what's sort of coming through. And so the blessing here is that you understand it doesn't matter. There's so many options. And this is a real path of self-discovery. And in that path of self-discovery, that's when I'm drawn to the colors. Well, I like the circular. This reminds me of storm. You know, like after a storm of like, I don't know what's going on, confusion. There's a sense in which, even though there's like the dizzying freedom, there's also like a what is that feeling? Relief. There's a lot of relief. And there's a lot of relief from, you know, like being able to take your your energy back from controlling a situation or trying to like constantly steer yourself. Okay, so here's where the car metaphor is, like trying to constantly steer yourself towards these road signs. Like one says marriage, one says baby, one says education, one says career. Spirit's like when you are no longer like going down these roads that are like they lead to dead ends or they lead to circles. I'm seeing mazes. Spirits, like if you allow for like your direction to be changed, allow for this like spin where you let go a little bit, you know, you let that storm happen. You don't have to put all that energy into like defending these positions of like where you're going and where you're not. You can let all of that go, and the Spirit's like then the road becomes clear, and that's when the power of attraction. That's when you're like really, you're like in that, you know, you're in that receiving place, and you've cleared out a lot of the debris so that the manifestations can come quickly. So freedom, options. It's a little bit of a loaded blessing, but relief. And it felt like relief, so that's good. So let's take a look at what might be like a key challenge in the month ahead for you. What is a key challenge in the month ahead for you? Let's see if I can get a lock on some details. Let's see what comes through. What is a key challenge for the month ahead for Virgo? Walk towards yourself. It's okay. Like, well, let me just feel it. For some of you, this is like walking away from being in the service of others, trying to find your own like center of gravity and your own impetus for direction. Again, like walking away from the prescription life and into the wilds. Where the law of attraction works. So this is leading you. I mean, this is leading you in this direction that I love. Okay, I love this direction. So it's like, you know, this isn't like the easiest. Some blessings just don't feel that good to receive because they're challenging. And so it's like the challenge for you is actually like accepting the different direction. And there is a lot of, okay, this is a small collective, so if it's not resonating, if it's pissing you off, it's not for you. If it is resonating, once you give up on those milestones, Spirit's saying that doesn't mean you don't get them. It just means that you are navigating your own way forward, and as a result, you attract in exactly what you need, exactly what you're trying to manifest, what is in alignment with like your soul's purpose. So it's going to be work. The challenge is like, you know, I'm speaking to someone who family is super important. They want a family, and they're working towards that, and it's not easy at all. There are problems here. So Spirit's like, it's not that you don't get this. It's just that there's healing to do, and you're doing the healing, and you have a different calling than the road that follows the milestone markers. Like, you have a different path, and it doesn't mean that you don't get the things that you want. It's just that the different path is, Spirit says, wild. Again, this is a call to be wild. That's what this is, Libra. Like, over and over again, I'm just like, it's like a call to the wild. And so the challenge here is, you know, not staying in this like place of like, you know, she's got like thorns in her foot and thorns in her hand. You know, she's trying to like untangle this mess, and like she's got tears coming down her face. It's exhausting. She's frustrated. She's probably making gains on her goals, but this is really painful. It hurts. So Spirit's like, there's a a call to the wild. You're gonna get this. You're gonna, the power of attraction is really like what you're stepping into. And so, you're gonna be attracting this. You want this. I feel how much you want this. Like I can feel it, right? So this is tremendous. You want this more than anything for somebody. Yeah, for one of you, whoever this is resonating for, like you want this more than anything, but it's not. It's been really difficult. And Spirit is saying, there's a call to the wild. There's a call to the wild, and this will heal you, and this healing will bring you in line with like your own soul purpose, and your own soul purpose is easy. Or how do I explain this? See how to explain this. Spirit saying, like, when you are in opposition to your soul's purpose, everything's hard. Everything's an uphill battle. When you relinquish and surrender to what you co-created yourself for, and created yourself for, whatever you scripted in terms of what you wanted to learn, then things are easier. That's when that power of attraction kicks in, and you're not striving. The word striving, like, you don't have to strive. Let go of striving. If you're striving, surrender. Don't strive. This is a call to the wild, and let's get more on that, because I don't know how clear that is to any of you. So I don't know how clear it is to me. So Spirit, what is this call to the wild? Let's find out what this means. Spirit, what is this call to the wild? What's this call to the wild for Virgo? What's this call to the wild for Virgo? Nice. Ooh. Hello. Oh, all right. Let me move so I can. For a lot of you, this is getting out of a relationship that you like invested a ton in because you grew apart. That's because this is a smaller collective. There's more specifics because I can actually like feel the pull of. So this is someone who you grew apart. You grew apart, and it's important to just like acknowledge that you grew apart. For others of you, yeah, this is a growing. This feels completely growing apart, or growing away from or growing out of the prescription life, or with all those milestones, like just growing out of it and trying to I'm showing me someone trying to fit a small shirt that doesn't fit anymore, or like walk-in shoes that are too small. You've grown out of it, whether it was a direction or ambition, it doesn't fit. It's like a shoe that's too small. So, or a relationship, there's a growing apart here, or growing out of. And so Spirit says that, let's see what we got here. This is a question about the call to the wild. So part of the call to the wild is recognizing that like the shoes are too small. Like you grew out of the relationship or the someone's, I'm hearing option. Ooh. All right, I gotta feel this for a second. Something weird's coming through, and I'm just gonna not weird, but something interesting is coming through, and I'm just gonna stick with it. Let me sit. Someone's really freaking out about age, like body age, like fertility. I'm hearing fertility. That's got a real hold. So for some of you, that call to the wild, get off that deep beaten path, like not this prescription life. Let go of the milestones. And I'm getting chills because I know that I'm feeling someone react pretty intensely. And I understand, I do. And for whoever this is really resonating with, I can feel, because I can feel you. This has been like a lifelong dream, and there's a sense in which you've made a lot of decisions like, you know, this has kind of owned you because it's something that you really wanted and that you do want, and you're afraid you're aging out. But I gotta feel this. Just sometimes I have to like sit for a minute because this is heavy. Anything that is more powerful than you, even in desire, like anything that feels like, if this doesn't happen, I can't live. If this doesn't happen, I don't know what I like. This is like, this is a god. This is, and like I don't understand how to explain this, but it's almost like I see someone like bowing down to a lifestyle with these little fixtures in it, and it's, Spirit says, false god. So for some of you, like this release away from the milestone map, it's the best thing for you. And Spirit's saying it doesn't mean you're not going to get what you want. The power of attraction, like once you shift into that this automatic pilot, that's not Spirit's trying to like tell me something. I don't understand what it is. So like a thing with the car where it drives. It's not drives. What is it? Like a word. What is it? Cruise control. Okay, thanks. So like Spirit's like, yeah, once you get into cruise control, you know, you're going to attract those things that you're meant for. You're going to attract those things that you're meant for once you get into that cruise control. Once you let the debris of what you are hoping for stop having like a tyrannical effect on your day-to-day life. And that's what this is. And Spirit's saying, you know, stepping into a place of intuition and allowing your life to reveal its purpose to you, reveal its path to you. This is an opening up. This feels like a big opening up. Spirit says this doesn't have a prescription this way. This flows. And it leads you into a place where this is this like single, accomplished, admired, beautiful energy. Gorgeous. It leads you to really appreciate where you are right now. Appreciate where you're actually going. And again, Spirit's like, that doesn't mean you don't get what you want. It's just that you don't, this is tyrannical. This is like really tyrannical. So this is a month where it's like, the best thing you can do is release yourself from the tyranny of the milestones, because you will attract what you're meant for and what's meant for you. And probably if you desire this so much, it's probably meant for you. Not always, but usually, you know, usually when a seed is like a seed of desire is planted that deep, it's on its way. At some point, you know, it's not a if, it's a when. You know, when that seed is that deep. Generally it's an if. It's not an if, it's a when the seed is that deep. So if the seed of desire is like such a central part of who you are, in all likelihood, and Spirit says, yes, it's a when, not an if. But the tyranny of time and the tyranny of the how and the tyranny of the where and the tyranny of the what, Spirit says this is the release this month. This is really the release. That feels really powerful. I don't know who this is for, but it's feeling really powerful. So Spirit's like, take, and I'm here, like release. Like this is such a feeling. This is such a release. It's so intense, but it you know, let the understanding that you grew out of that prescription, understanding that you grew out of those shoes, and understanding that you grew apart from that person, is the very beginning of moving into a place where you're going to be able to actually get those needs met that aren't being met. And to whoever the tyranny of time was speaking to, releasing yourself from a tyrannical demand that that energy of, I don't like that energy. It's like I don't want to say the word desperate. Like there's a desperation in the sense that it's like, if this doesn't happen for me, like I don't want anything else. That's what it is. It's really heavy, but for whoever you are, for everyone, like whoever I'm talking to, I do feel like really feel for you. Spirit's saying, don't. If it's, again, I'm hearing the same thing over again. If the seed of desire is planted that deep, it's a when. However, if you're freaking out and your energy is that freaked out, like, oh my God, this isn't happening in time, this isn't how it's supposed to be, that's a repellent to a certain degree. And so Spirit's like, we're freeing you of this. We're freeing you of it. And that's what this, going forward in this month, is just being freed from that. So whoever that is, there's a beautiful freedom in the direction that is meant for you. And if the seed is planted that deeply, Spirit says it's a when. It's a when. So let's get some, let's get some advice from Spirit. Like it's important to look at the key challenge, but the key challenge kind of came up. So let's get some advice from Spirit. Yeah, this is for Virgo. Like, yeah, stepping into the holy of holies within yourself and understanding that, yeah, this is speaking to the seed. The seed, and I just hearing the same thing again. If the seed of desire is planted that deep, it's a when. It's a when. I'm hearing the sanctity of your privacy for somebody, and I'm hearing it's a when again. Really, and this is like, so for some of you, this is marriage. It's when. Stable, depthy, holding and casing. I'm trying to describe the feeling being held by. Advice from Spirit is it's a when. It is a when. But you got to step out of the way. You have to put the prescription aside, let that storm, let yourself just have the series of disappointments and the series of like, well, this shoe doesn't fit anymore, and that direction wasn't what I thought it was, and this is how this grew apart, and releasing, like purging, like let it out, let the disappointment out. There's a grieving when you let go of this timetable. And Spirit says, do the grieving, put in the work, and there will be reciprocity. There will be, oh my God, every once in a while I'm recording and somehow Siri pipes in and it just freaks me out. Siri, go away. And it's in my ears. Siri, go away. Go. I don't want you. Leave. Bye. No. Retreat. There we go. That was weird. Sorry. I'm just trying to see if there's any significance to that. Spirit's saying you'll have assistance. You don't have to take this journey on your own. Someone's really freaking out about loneliness. And the possibility that there won't, Spirit's like, let me see if I can grasp this. Just give me 1 second. Somebody's like, if I take care of myself, no one will take care of me. So this is speaking to Spirit's like, no, just grieve the stuff that isn't on your timetable, because what's meant for you is definitely on its way. When you get out of your way, and you are, and that grieving is part of it. That's the storm. That's the storm that like washes everything, and you know, and then the storm, letting the storm happen, allows you to like clean those storm drains and allow for that flow of those manifestations. And Spirit saying there will be reciprocity. There will be someone in your life who gives to you and works with you. It's fair, and it's a win. Spirit says it's a win. I'm gonna pull some more cards. So again, this is kind of a small collective, so it might not be resonating, but for those of you that are resonating, it's probably I can feel somebody resonating. So yeah, the fight to attain these things in a timely manner, it's like a kind of tyranny, and Spirit is saying, purge this. There's a lot of stuck, like, you know, sort of like, it's keeping you from really getting what's meant for you, what you're supposed to have, like your ship's coming in. But what I'm really seeing is like don't watch the pot to boil. Don't, whatever that means to somebody, don't watch the pot waiting for it to boil. And the tyranny of needing these things to happen in a certain way is making it so you really can't, all of that work that you put out in the world, it's coming back to you. There's a karmic, you know, but you're looking in the wrong direction when it's related to this like tyrannical need for it to be in a certain way. But Spirit's saying, yeah, you know, the reciprocity will be there. You're not going to have to do this on your own. You're not up, like, you know, there's a sense in which you don't feel like you're balanced. Like left out. So friends are maybe hitting these milestones, or a feeling of being like unbalanced because of being left out. And so Spirit wants you to know that, like, Spirit's bringing a passionate new beginning that's being attracted towards you, that does fit. Look at that bottom of the deck energy. It does fit. This is like wife, sort of. I always feel like mom, wife. When I feel this is kind of the feeling. So like, but this is a solid, like nurturing, grounded energy. And Spirit is saying, and this might be you, for some of you, this is you. Spirit is saying, there's a passionate new beginning. And it's leading you to exactly like where you're supposed to be. And it's like an opulent, abundant, grounded, like beautiful station. Yeah, Spirit just wants to make, like, Spirit really wants to let you know, it's not that your dreams don't come true. They come true when you let go of how, when, why, and with who. Because the passionate new beginning is going to be there, and it's related to this power of attraction. And I'm just going to pull like a couple, like a real fast. I'm trying to just finish this out with a couple of oracle cards, because the passionate new beginning is there. The divine has what's meant for you. It's waiting to be attracted in. The expectations are in the way. That happens to most of us, actually. Spirit says, you know, allow yourself to be alone but not lonely. This is coming in. But while you heal from this, because this is a healing process, there's grieving going on. I can feel it. Understand that alone doesn't mean lonely, and that's not your destiny. Especially like when you realize how nice alone but not lonely feels, how comfortable it is. It's a step away from needing things to be a certain way, and just like sitting with yourself and letting them be what they are. And then the flowers bloom. Then things come to life. Commune with Source. Yeah, Spirit wants some time with you. Spirit wants you to reconnect. You know, the bottom of the deck is, see it? Yeah. Transform the way you see. So in order to see this thing that you're supposed to get, you have to transform the way that you see. And that's time with yourself and time with Source. and finding finding your way from, like, Spirit's like, you're the center of gravity in your life, and finding your way from that point, and not the point where the center of gravity of your life is with somebody else or with a circumstance or with an outcome. Because if your center of gravity is somewhere external, then every time that thing moves, it's gonna just like your life, you know. But once Spirit wants to bring you into that healing, because this is a healing spot where you're spending time with yourself, and you're spending time with Spirit, and you're in this communion, and you're transforming the way that you see. And then there's the new eyes and the new vista, and the path becomes clear, and the effort becomes easy because you're in alignment and you're within the parameters of your purpose. And so this is what this month is all about. This is what this month is all about, Virgo. And so for those of you that resonated, and there, again, I intended for a small circle. For those of you that resonated, I hope there was stuff that was really helpful here. And yeah, so I'll see you next month.